Okay, Michaela Lambert says, I would like to know the best way to re-engage an email list who rarely buy but who engage in free content. So Michaela, where are you calling from?
Oh, hi, Tad. I'm calling from the UK, in Wiltshire, so not too far from Stroud. Yeah.
Oh, that's the man. Stroud is representing real hard today.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why do you want to re-engage them? Or what's the
Well,
goal here? Is it
it's
that
yeah,
yeah,
they just I mean they do I feel that maybe, but that's a really good question actually. I mean, I feel that my email list has kind of shrunk and I haven't really been things that I've been trying have been growing it, but it's very slow. So I created my email lists by doing virtual summits over the last 3 years, so that it kind of has, I got a big influx each time I did a summit. But then obviously they tail off
sure.
because they're not necessarily aligned with what with who I am, I think, because they've come from other coaches' lists. Um, Yeah, so I'm just kind of thinking, because most of my marketing energy has been nurturing the email list. It's only in the last year or so that I've really got comfortable showing up on social media, um, Facebook, mainly, I suppose. Um, and I've just started a Facebook group as well. So I was really surprised when um, not many people, because they came from other people's email lists, it's sort of like, oh well, we don't use Facebook, we don't, so they can't really participate necessarily in that aspect of my nurture world, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just don't know, I'm just feeling a little bit
Is
like,
it,
oh, I need
what
people.
so right, okay, but let me just see if I understand. So you have an email list,
Yeah.
you built it through these summits,
Hmm.
people are engaging with the free content.
Yeah, so if
So
I
what
email
what
them something directly, if I say like, hey, check out this new guide that I've created for
yeah,
X, Y, and Z problem, they'll download it. If I do a Zoom call, they'll turn up.
right?
But then, like if they come on a discovery call, then it's like, oh, I need to think about it. I can't really afford it. I even launched a membership, a very low cost membership. But even then, it was like, no, I mean, I literally got about 5 people who signed up.
Okay, so let me just see if I'm following. So you've got people, they seem to be fairly responsive to the free stuff, but whenever you make a paid offer, the
Mhm.
response is sort of tepid and
Yeah,
disappointing and not what you were hoping for.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what do you think the problem is? What do you think is going on there?
Well, it's probably because when I first started my email list 3 years ago, I wasn't really very clear on an offer. So I didn't really offer anything necessarily. I just kind of gave and, you know, taught and, shared a lot of stuff. And then I noticed that when I did start to make offers, people dropped off the list. So I mean, I
Sure,
don't know
yeah,
whether they were thinking, oh, why is she selling us stuff now, kind of thing. Um,
sure.
so I mean, yeah.
Okay, you're not sure. So the here's what I would say. Of course, for all of us, what do we want on an email list that we join? Nonstop free content. That's the dream. I mean, wouldn't that be great? It's just never have to pay for anything. They just send you free stuff. Um, and then, what's our wish? People buy stuff all the time and it supports us financially. So these are a little bit at odds.
Mhm.
It's like this is why Netflix took off, hey? If you've watched TV in the last few years on any kind of, it's just, oh God, it's literally half commercials. Half of the time is these insane commercials. So people don't want the commercials. So they've literally not just tuned out of that show, out of TV,
Yeah.
not just NBC, TV. I mean, they've
Hmm.
the whole platform got created to avoid this. So yeah, there's just that constant tension. How do
Yeah.
we sustain ourselves? Well, we have to offer something. But yes, as you say, when we offer something, then people unsubscribe. But just to take heart, everybody, anytime you send an email about anything, people will unsubscribe. I mean, it's just this is what happens. It's So one of the things, here's my question. What is Island A for your people in like 7 words or less? What is the problem or situation they have that you're helping them with?
Okay. So I would say not attracting the type of partner, the right sort of partner. Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, that's pretty clear. And Island B then clearly is they attract the right partner.
Yes.
Right. They're tired
Yes.
of this dating rigmarole and
Yes, exactly.
kissing frogs and all. Okay. So that's helpful. That's very clear. So then there's a few things you could do. So I'll just toss out some possibilities. One is you email your list and you say, I'm really wanting to be useful to you, and I'm wanting to figure out what would be most useful. So what is your single biggest question that you have? Like, where are you most stuck? What's the thing you want to know how to do that you don't know how to do, that the free content hasn't helped you with yet?
Right.
You know, really hone in on the specific island, even more specific Island A. What are they craving to know? That's one. And then you'll probably get some sense of what that is, the most popular one, the most urgent one, the most pressing one. And then you say, and you could even do a poll after. You could say, oh, here were the top 3, vote. I'd love to know. This doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do it, but it's just helpful to have your finger on the pulse and know what's up. And then you might craft an offer, even something very small, something paid, but like a 90-minute call on this topic, where we're just going to delve into my thoughts on this specific topic. It's $25, that kind of thing. And then you might even come up with a larger offer on that topic if people are signing up. And for everybody, I recommend checking out marketingforhippies.com/value slider. So marketingforhippies.com/VALUESLIDER value slider. This is all credit to Tom Poland, who he wrote about this in his book Leadsology, which is a very fine book. I recommend checking out. But he talks about, which I think is so true. When we look at offers, there are certain things that we all want. Like, we want it to be fast, measurable, dramatic in its impact, easy. There's certain things we want, and it's not always possible. But all things being equal, that's what we want. And so it's helpful to evaluate our business on these various sliders of 1, 0 through 10. So you'll see on that page there's a few videos where I talk about it. There's kind of my take on it. I recommend buying his book because certainly he says more about it than I do. And then there's also a little quiz assessment you can fill out, and it's really worth looking at every one of our offers through this to see what's the score and how can we increase the score. Now, that the little assessment you fill out won't tally it for you. It's just a Google Google form or whatever, but it will let you, I think it'll email you your answers, and you can see where it's strong and weak. Because whenever an offer doesn't work, here's the syntax we got to go through. Number 1, are we getting attention of enough of the right people? That's number 1. Because if you're not even reaching enough of the right people, that's, it's problem solved. If that's true, are you filtering correctly? And this is where I think your issue may be, is Michaela, is on the filtering level. And there's 3 levels of the filtering. It could be, number 1, that what you're offering is not really relevant to them and where they're at. It's not their most pressing, burning issue. It's sort of generic, broad advice, and there's that. Number 2, it could be the credibility thing. They don't trust you enough. I don't think that's probably it. Number 3, it could be value, is that they don't see that the return on investment is strong enough, but the value slider will help you with that. My guess is it's about the relevance. But for all of us, it's worth looking at, is this falling down because, okay, I've reached enough people, but the offer wasn't relevant? Is it, no, this is exactly what they said they wanted.
Yeah.
I know this is what they want, but they don't trust me yet, so I have to build more credibility. Or is it, no, it's relevant, and I know they trust me, but the pricing is wrong. Like I haven't communicated the value of it or made the offer valuable enough for them to say yes.
Yeah.
And then the last one is lowering the risk of them taking that first step.
Mm.
And if you go to marketingforhippies.com/risk, you'll see a lot on that.
Amazing.
So there's all those things, but my guess is it's the relevance.
Mhm.
And if it's not that, then you'll you'll find out. And the other thing I was going to say is sometimes we have to shake up our list a little bit and do a bit of a cull and just reintroduce ourselves and say,
Mhm.
look, you might have joined this email list a long time ago because of the summit. And I just wanted to reintroduce myself, who I am, what I'm about, what I value, my point of view, my niche, all of that. And if this doesn't feel like a fit for you, I really invite you to unsubscribe right now.
Yeah.
You're probably on too many. Yeah.
I so need to do a cull. I've never ever, I haven't once done it. And I'm pretty sure I've got lots of dead leads as well on there.
It's
So
the most
yeah.
liberating. It's so liberating feeling.
Hmm.
It's such a good, like a, because then you like, man, everybody who's on my list wants to be there. What a great
Mm.
feeling. No dead leads. So sometimes we have to do that reintroduction. And I'm not saying don't be too casual about it. You put a lot of thought into that email, but
Mm.
again, it's where it's kind of the who, what, where, when, why, and how. This is who I am. This is who I help. This is what I do. This is how I do it. This is why I do it. Where and when I do it.
Mm.
And if that all seems interesting to you, um, then yeah, please stick around. But if not, this is where we really articulate our ideal client. If
Mm.
you are this kind of person struggling with this kind of problem, and you want this result, and you like the thought that the core of it is really this, you like the thought that you align with my point of view, stated, pithily, then stick around. And if not, hey, it's okay. Relationships don't always last forever, and I'm going to miss you a lot. Every time I have that certain kind of wine that we used to drink together, I'll think about you. But maybe we'll send postcards to each other from random parts of the world, and maybe
Mm.
not. But it's just then they go, and it's just fine.
Yeah.
Because whoever is left, those are your people.
Yeah.
And then you may find that you get a more realistic sense of what the response is.
Mm.
Because let's say you have 100 people now, and it's like, man, I'm only getting 3 responses. It doesn't feel that big. But then you do the call and you have 30 people. Like, oh, that's not 3%. That's 10%.
Yeah.
That's a different, I'm getting a bigger response than I had thought. Because yeah, you get it.
I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's really helpful. I know I do definitely need to do the cull, and I'll check out the other resources on your site. Yeah. So thanks very much.
Hey, you're welcome.
Awesome.